Okay, so we're gonna do day 2 of what's in my garden, but I had to venture out to the alley actually because I used a lot of the flowers. Well, I used a lot of the different types of flowers that I have in my yard in yesterday's video. So this actually is what's in my alley, and I've got a very small little modern bud vase here. However, you'd be surprised at how many stems you can get in something this size. I've only picked a few things, so let's just see what happens. So I have some mint, lovely fragrant mint, and I've already cleaned everything. So you basically just do this and get all the stems off the bottom, or the leaves off the bottom of the stem, and make sure you don't have leaves in the water. So again, I'm just gonna start cutting down just a little bit to where I need it. I'm going to do this little base of mint first because it's really all I have for greenery today. There wasn't a lot in the alley that was available. There were some things that I would have had to ask some neighbors if I could clip, and nobody's really out, and I'm not about to go knocking on doors right now, so just took some things. Some of these things were protruding through like the fence slats and things like that, and so if they're in the alley, they're free game. So I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of mint that I'm going to use. Kind of a little hard for you to see, but in the end it always works out. I'll give you that overview of it. I'm still kind of trying to do different heights and just crisscrossing my stems as I go inside, so you can actually see that here if you're getting this little bit of a grid pattern, and that is what helps all your other flowers stand up when you go to put in more. I do have one piece of euphorbia that I found. I'm hesitant to strip it with bare hands because usually the sap, or it's like sap, in the euphorbia is kind of a milky white and makes me itch. So I usually do this with gloves, so I'm actually gonna maybe save that till the end and then go wash my hands really quickly. So I'm gonna just leave that aside, although it's a really pretty euphorbia. Let's see, it has like a kind of a lime green tone. I got these yellow, it's a Japanese rose bush. It's so pretty. I had to look it up because I knew it had a different name that I couldn't really pronounce, and just wanted to look it up and realized that it was just called Japanese rose bush. Super pretty, spring blooming. It's very, it can grow really tall and tenderly, and it kind of drops over the fence, and then that's why I'm still calling it the alley flower, because that's where I got it. So I'm gonna see about leaving some of these really long. I'm gonna go about like 2.5 times the size of the vase and just see what happens. Might wind up that I don't have enough flowers, but we'll see how that goes. So there are some spring things that are going to be starting to bloom pretty soon, like my lilac bushes that I will be cutting, and they will be making me sneeze. But, when you love flowers, you just have to deal with it if you have some allergies. This is kind of a wily, kind of like crazy squirrely looking thing here. Cut off some of these branches and see what happens, just to make them a little bit more usable. It's kind of crazy. I'm just gonna see this. Let's see what happens here. This would be kind of fun in there like that. Let's see if I can use both. It might be a little too wild. It's kind of cool, actually. Probably should have gotten some more mint. I did get a little bit of rosemary. That's actually rosemary and mint. they just kind of, once you get them started, they don't stop. They kind of grow like weeds, which is really nice because what a great weed to have, right? There's nothing wrong with some fragrant rosemary and sage and oregano, mint, a little bit of thyme. You could kind of pot up your own herb garden for the summer. Use that. Let's see what happens if I clip these really little blooms down a lot lower, and I'm probably going to just clip some of the mint a little bit lower too, just so it doesn't feel like it's falling out of the vase. Let's do a couple really short pieces here just to kind of bring the whole thing together so it doesn't seem like it's got a lot of holes in there. So what I'm doing is tightening it up and bringing some of these stems that are sticking out a little bit more, and I'm bringing them closer to the neck so there's not a lot of space between the neck of the vase and the other flowers. Okay, so let's see. It's like, kind of did it. I'm just gonna go for it and do this with the euphorbia. Try not to get the sap anywhere near my face or anything, because that's where it would start to get really itchy. So I'll just put that in. Some of the milkier substances, some of the flowers that have a milky substance in them, they can shorten the lifespan of the other flowers because it gets into the water, so you always want to change your water every couple of days. It also can make the water really cloudy. So here's my little green and yellow creation. Let me see if I get behind it. You can see it a little bit better. Woo, it's blowing. Got an awesome breezy day here in my backyard, and so there is my little creation, and it just feels real airy and very sweet. And I just set up a little home office in my living room, so I am gonna go put that on my table. It's a white desk, and it's the walls are white behind where the desk is, so it's gonna really create a nice spring atmosphere that I can look at while I do some computer work. All right then, thank you for joining me, and so I'm Jean Louise from Juniper Flowers, and this was day 2 of my little home video of flower designing, and this was what's in my alley. Thank you, and I hope to make you more videos. Have a good day.